Imagine thinking you just won $1 million at McDonald's. You peel the sticker off your fries. It says Park Place. Your hands start shaking. You just need Boardwalk and you're a millionaire. You keep going. You order more fries, more stickers, more hope. And then, nothing. You keep playing year after year. Millions do. But here's the kicker. Nobody ever wins. For over a decade, the McDonald's Monopoly game had a dark secret. The biggest prizes, the cars, the vacations, the million-dollar checks. They were being stolen, not by hackers, not by mobsters, but by the guy in charge of guarding them. This is the true story of how one man rigged America's favorite fast food game, stole over $24 million, and built a criminal empire of fake winners, all while McDonald's had no idea. We're talking about a web of ex-cops, strip club owners, drug traffickers, and even a psychic. Yes, a literal psychic. But the craziest part? The FBI had no clue for years, until one anonymous tip led to one of the most insane undercover operations in fast food history. And by the end of this story, you'll never trust a sweepstakes again. Because once you see how deep this went, how high the cover-up reached, and how close McDonald's came to losing everything, you'll realize this wasn't just fraud, it was genius. Let's rewind. It's the late 1980s. McDonald's is already dominating the world. Billions served, golden arches everywhere. But they want more. They want addiction. So they team up with a company called Simon Marketing. Their job? Design promotions that make people come back over and over and over. That's when Monopoly is born. You buy fries, get stickers. You collect properties. You match a set, you win. Simple. Except it wasn't. Because what McDonald's didn't realize was that the guy they trusted to protect the rare winning pieces was stealing them. Meet Jerome Jacobson, aka Uncle Jerry. He was head of security at Simon Marketing. He had access to the factory where the rare game pieces were printed. And more importantly, he was the only person allowed to transport them. He wore a suit, had a badge, traveled with a locked briefcase like it was nuclear codes. But inside were millions of dollars in winning stickers. And he figured out exactly how to sneak them out without anyone noticing. What happens next? A decade-long con that roped in mobsters, laundered millions, and nearly took down one of the most powerful brands on the planet. Stick around. It gets way crazier from here, Jerome. Uncle Jerry Jacobson didn't look like a criminal mastermind. Balding, quiet. A former cop with a bad back. But he had one superpower, total control over the winning pieces. See, Simon Marketing had built a system that looked airtight. The winning Monopoly stickers were printed at a secure facility, sealed in tamper-proof envelopes, then placed into special briefcases. Only Jerome had the combination. Only Jerome flew with them to distribution plants. Only Jerome touched the million-dollar tickets. But Jerome had a secret trick. He noticed something weird. When traveling, the airport security guards would never x-ray his briefcase. They'd just wave him through, assuming he was transporting sensitive promotional materials. That gave him an idea. What if he snuck the tickets out before they were sealed? So he did. He went into the bathroom at the printing plant, locked the stall, opened the envelope, and swapped out the winning sticker with a fake one. Then he sealed the envelope back up. Nobody noticed. And now, he had the real million-dollar game piece in his pocket. At first, Jerry gave one to his stepbrother. Just a test. They claimed the prize and nobody blinked. So he tried again, and again, and again. But Jerry wasn't greedy, not yet. He realized if he kept the winners himself, he'd get caught. So he recruited winners, regular people, friends of friends, total strangers, people who'd agree to claim the prize, pretend they got it at McDonald's, and then secretly kick Jerry a cut, usually 50%. Imagine that. You win $1 million prize, but have to give $500,000 to a mysterious ex-cop who smuggled it out of a bathroom stall. And people said yes, because hey, $500,000 is still $500,000, right? But Jerry didn't stop with friends. Soon he was recruiting ex-cons, drug dealers, strip club owners, even a mafia-connected family in Florida. He needed people who wouldn't talk, who knew how to stay quiet, who weren't afraid to commit a little fraud. And that's when the web got tangled. One winner would introduce another. A mobster would bring in his cousin. A guy from a car dealership would call his buddy who ran a convenience store. Each time Jerry took his cut, the fake winners got rich. And McDonald's? They kept celebrating big winners in press releases, totally clueless. Over 12 years, Jerry rigged over 50 winning tickets, totaling more than $24 million in fake prize money. But here's where it gets dangerous. The more people he let in, the more unstable the scam became. And eventually, someone cracked. The scam might have gone on forever, if it weren't for a random tip-off to the FBI. In 2000, a mysterious letter landed on an agent's desk in Jacksonville, Florida. No name, no return address, just one line. The McDonald's Monopoly game is rigged. The big winners are all connected. At first, the FBI didn't take it seriously. It sounded like a weird conspiracy theory. But then, they checked the winners. One was married to the brother of another winner. Another had the same last name as a guy in a totally different state. One lucky winner had ties to known mafia figures in New Jersey. This wasn't random. This was a pattern. So the FBI launched Operation Final Answer. Yeah, they gave it a code name and went undercover. They posed as a fake Hollywood production company offering to do a documentary on McDonald's winners. Totally legit, they said. Just a feel-good special for TV. Nothing to worry about. And it worked. The winners, especially the fake ones, started talking. They gave interviews, shared their stories, described how they found the tickets. But to the FBI, it was all nonsense. The timelines didn't add up. Their stories kept changing. And best of all, the whole thing was on tape. The FBI had cameras rolling the entire time. So when they made their move, they had hours of footage, hours of wiretaps, hours of proof that this whole thing was an inside job. And at the center of it all, Uncle Jerry. They tapped his phones, listened in on calls where he discussed payments, ticket handoffs, even meeting at strip clubs to exchange envelopes. They heard him panic when he thought someone was watching. They heard him laugh about how dumb the public was. And then, they pounced. On August 22, 2001, the FBI arrested Jerry Jacobson and 8 others. The story exploded across the U.S. Overnight, the headlines read, "McFraud, FBI busts Monopoly scam." Game over. McDonald's Monopoly rigged for years. McDonald's was blindsided. They'd trusted Simon Marketing. They'd spent hundreds of millions promoting the game. And now, it was a national embarrassment. A company built on fun for the whole family had accidentally handed its biggest promotion to the mob. To make it right, McDonald's ran a $10 million instant giveaway. Real prizes, verified winners. No funny business, just damage control. And Jerry, he was done. Facing 37 counts of fraud and conspiracy, he cut a deal. Pled guilty, sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. Most of the others got less: probation, fines, community service. But the biggest question still hung in the air. How the hell did this go on for 12 years without anyone noticing? The answer? Because Jerry Jacobson was invisible. He wasn't flashy. He didn't live in a mansion or drive a Lamborghini. He was just a guy. A middle-aged man in a polo shirt who looked like he worked at a bank or managed a car rental desk. That was the genius of it. He blended in. He wasn't some Wall Street scammer or movie villain. He was the head of security at a marketing firm, not even a McDonald's employee. And that's what made him so dangerous. He had absolute control over the game pieces. Nobody else ever touched them. Not the marketing execs, not McDonald's, not even the printing press supervisors. Because of security, he'd fly with the pieces himself. He'd hand-deliver them in briefcases with handcuffs, like he was transporting diamonds. But here's the thing. He was the one putting the diamonds in the briefcase. There were no cameras when he placed the winning pieces in envelopes. No witnesses. No one watching when he sealed the briefcases. And nobody ever questioned him, because he was the guy in charge of security. He was supposed to protect the game, and that blind trust let him loot it from the inside. But Jerry didn't just keep the prizes for himself. He turned the scam into a black market empire. He'd sell winning pieces to people he trusted, or people who'd pay up. Winners paid $50,000 or $100,000 up front to claim $1 million prize. He used friends, church buddies, even acquaintances of his wife to cash in the pieces. In one case, he gave a $1 million ticket to his butcher. In another, a man picked to win was told exactly what to say, what to wear, and how to act excited. The scam became its own economy, a dark web of silent winners, kickbacks, and fake stories. And McDonald's? Still running ads, still hyping up the game like nothing was wrong. Millions of Americans kept playing, dreaming of a win that was never coming. And even when the FBI made their arrests, the public didn't know what to believe. Jerry didn't fit the villain mold. The winners looked real. The stories felt possible. It was the perfect illusion. And it made one thing terrifyingly clear. If a man like Jerry could rig the biggest fast food promotion in history, how many other random winners are fake too? Sweepstakes, lotteries, corporate giveaways. How many are real? And how many are a guy in a polo shirt slipping the winning ticket to his friend? The FBI called it Operation Final Answer, and when they went public, the world couldn't believe it. They arrested more than 50 people, mobsters, housewives, million-dollar winners, even Jerry's own stepbrother. Everyone had a role. Everyone got a cut. And suddenly, McDonald's, the clean, happy, family-friendly empire, was linked to theft, fraud, and the mafia. McDonald's was furious. They weren't in on the scam. They were the victim. Their brand, their trust, their entire monopoly promotion, hijacked. They sued the marketing firm. Cut ties! But it was too late. The public saw the headlines. $24 million scam. McDonald's monopoly was rigged. No real winners. For McDonald's, it was a PR nightmare. For Jerry Jacobson, the end of the road. He pleaded guilty. Got 37 months in prison. Yeah, just over 3 years for one of the largest corporate frauds in history. But the damage wasn't just financial. It was emotional. Families who'd spent years collecting game pieces, dreaming of that million-dollar check, hoping for a miracle, now knew they never had a chance. They were sold a dream. That was rigged. And Jerry, he didn't feel guilty. In court, he said, "I don't think I really did anything wrong." Because to him, he wasn't stealing from McDonald's. He was just gaming the system. But that's what makes this story so powerful. It's not just a tale of one man's greed. It's a warning that any system with no transparency is ripe for abuse. That sometimes the winners were chosen before the game even started. Think about it. How many times have you entered a contest, scanned a code, played a game, thinking you had a fair shot? How many of those were actually fair? The McDonald's monopoly scandal wasn't just a one-off. It was a mirror, showing us that in the world of billion-dollar brands, the illusion of fairness is often more important than fairness itself. Because what people really want is hope, a shot, a dream. And they'll keep playing, even if the house always wins. This is Midnight Watch. If this story got you fired up, hit that subscribe button. Because next time, we're diving into a scandal even bigger than this. A billion-dollar empire, a missing CEO, and a cover-up so bold it makes this monopoly scam look like child's play. It's dropping next. Don't miss it.